All right, everybody, welcome back. No music at the moment because I don't have the net play session started, but we got 7 minutes to... We didn't get an intro because we were doing some tech testing, but we're going to just jump straight into it. Welcome back, everybody. It's been 3 months since the last tournament, and this time we have more competitors. Technically, we've got 8 competitors, so double the amount of last time, but a handful of them are playing in both our metered and meterless brackets, so we technically have 11 competitors. I'm back again with my host over here, Mr. Neil. Our
co-host.
The co-host. Docs. Get your first last name, Docs.
Yep.
We got.
Don't worry, there's plenty of me around. So
we got the teams up here on the top. We got the timer in the middle. Oh, right here, timer in the middle. When the timer cuts, we will be jumping straight into the first match. We got meterless brackets today. We got Rinny versus Braigs. A little bit earlier in the day because they are both international. So there might be a little bit of stutteriness with when they become the host. But looking at the teams, Neil. Looking at the teams, what are you seeing?
I would like to draw the attention of the viewer to the uses in the bottom right corner. And I think we were going over the teams yesterday, and the uses has a very specific item on him that an accessory of sorts.
You'll have to remind me. I've looked at a lot of teams in the last 2 days.
The reviving uses.
He's got the Amulet of Revival. He is going to be definitely one of the carries. I will note one thing that's very interesting about Braigs' team that I don't think has happened in any other teams. Although, let's look. Let me just double check before I spout off some stuff here. No, both of these teams are fully... No, they're not fully unique. Rinny has a bandit, one from Nordog, one from Imperia. But other than that, both teams here are actually fully unique, no duplicates. Something we don't typically see. Usually people take like 2 of the units that they like. Maybe if they're going for a combo of some sort, 2 ogres, 2 light units, something like that. We do see the ogre. Let's see how high my fingers can go before they get cut off. We do see the ogre up here. A couple light units sprinkled in. Ogres actually on level 15 quite tanky because they can't wear armor. They get increased HP growth per level. At this point of the game, that ogre might have the most HP out of any unit. I'm looking this way because I got my stats over here. But ogres have probably the most HP out of most units at this point in the game, except for maybe beasts. And when you pair that with a light unit, if there's a light unit within 3 tiles of them in a diamond, they get 25% frontal damage reduction. I think that ogre can be a bit of a problem.
Huge.
We were seeing in tech testing and scrims, the Undead Summoner at level 15 is actually maybe not that great. The summons take forever to get their first turn, and, yield summon RNG if they're going to actually do something. It's always just a toss-up on if they're actually going to play the game or not.
It is fair to say that the summons will either give the game to you. I do remember specifically last tournament, there was a game where there was a W summon who just walked in and combo 3'd the head off of somebody just completely out of nowhere, and then blew up and poisoned 2 more. And then there are also times where they'll just sit there itching their balls, just hanging out and not doing anything for you. So I wouldn't say they're bad, but I would say they're at the point where you need to put a lot of effort into helping them with their weaknesses. A Galdir Song of Command, giving
them counterattack. Galdir pairs really well with these slow units because they can use Fury of the North, which gives all allies counterattack for, I think it's 2 turns. Not seeing any Galdir actually on either of these teams.
The Wolf can increase initiative too, if I remember correctly. I don't know if he
have a move that can increase. They have the move that can increase the initiative of other wolves.
Oh, it's only other wolves. I remember seeing the wolf cheese, but no double wolves.
Interesting pick above you over there that we didn't see in the last tournament. There is a barbarian on Braigs' team, which in my eyes has always just been a worse heavy or a it's like a heavy unit, but it's a medium. It has the skill set of a heavy unit, but it has the weight class of a medium unit.
Yeah. Mm. The thing is, there's a proliferation of lights and heavies here. To
Yeah.
be fair, there is.
Braigs?
It does feel like light heavy is kind of feeling like the meta. So, do you sneak in a medium unit and try to punish the extreme amount of heavies and lights that you see? But it does feel like that barbarian is food for like half of Rennie's team for
Yeah,
sure.
you've got
Especially some of the
three of
stronger.
right
Yeah,
here. You got three
especially
of the heaviest
stronger
damage
units.
dealers.
Yeah, and they're heavies, and they're. I could very easily see a Minotaur just walking up and chopping his block off, and don't exactly know what stops that if you're not careful. Especially the Minotaur's overrun and his positioning, especially in this kind of heavy dominated game, is going to be huge. So positioning almost more important than it was in the earlier game. And the numbers flying out is kind of crazy. I would say one of the interesting things about being level 15 is that the build variety is way more interesting. It's not just
Oh yeah,
like
all the way up to level 20,
big
no death items.
Exactly. Good to remind people about that, and also to say that big number doesn't necessarily mean better here.
Well, we're also playing on meterless, so accuracy comes in, and meterless on Ragnaroks is actually tuned for 25% minimum hit chance to 5%. So that kind of dials in the light versus heavy aspect. The heavies can't.
Okay.
They don't get screwed as hard.
Yes, but do we see a heavy nerf now that you cannot crit your way through the unfortunate scenarios you were put in earlier? Because even with
you got cut. One sec. Let me get into the game time. Game time. Oh, pick ban? Nope, game time. Something's happening in my dolphin. We're continue your thought. There we go. No, we're back.
Okay. Yeah, so it did feel like in metered that heavies could kind of just crit their way through lights. So lights were more damage than anything else, more used for doing extreme amounts of damage to heavy than actually like beating them in a 1v1. Usually you'd see two heavies kind of walk up, clap each other, and then a light come in to pick up a kill. It could be that the light's defensive utility against the heavies, besides the damage scaling present, could actually be a thing in here, though I would say 25% is not the worst thing in the
between Imperia
and lights still take tons of damage, and I don't know, it's kind of a toss-up, though I will say the lack of crits is kind of a huge thing in the lights' favor.
Yeah, the lack of crits just helps the light units out so much more.
I will say the lack of crits also helps the summoners, because the summoners don't run around critting nearly as much, obviously. The summons don't. So that is another point in the summons' favor, but I did promise. I failed the Gladius Discord last time, and today I'm here to gas up the Mongol Shaman that nobody picked. So, you know.
The Mongol Shaman that nobody picked, indeed.
If anyone is listening to me shouting in the void, pick Mongol Shaman next tournament, you cowards. I'm telling you, it's slept on. It's, it's a life-changing experience.
I didn't look through all of the teams, but I'm pretty sure I did not see a single Mongol Shaman.
If they did, my money's on that person.
I would also like to note, due to some help from the community, I was actually able to repaint some of the grids in some of these maps. So if you remember last time, there were some very bad placements for some teams. I have balanced them out a little bit more. I've removed the crates and barrels from some of the maps that should not have them. So the placement should be a little more balanced this time around too. I've created some... Sorry, they were asking me questions. The map should be a little bit more balanced this time around. The placement should be a little bit more balanced. We are hopping straight into the pit.
Oh, pit gaming. It's gonna be a brawl. So I think Summoner's dead in the water here. What do you pick first? Also, important for our viewers, if you're picking left first, you have to put your undead summoner in the
first
leftmost
slot.
spot. It is a game limitation. As you can see, the undead summoner is unavailable for that second slot. So it would seem here that
Interesting.
the undead summoner is not making play, though the bony boy is there.
We've selected double medium units here for some reason,
Which is freaking insane. Unbelievable, considering how dangerous the heavies are.
Oh, here
There's
comes
the
the
Centurion. And we are seeing that quite intelligently, they're picking from the right side, so there's always threat of an undead summoner.
Well,
do we see
Braigs' team doesn't have an undead summoner, but yeah.
Oh, no, yeah. Just something to think about to fake it out. Where is the Lucius? Do you think we get reviving Lucius?
I don't think so. And unless Rinny picks 2 light units here, I don't think Lucius comes through. There's just Lucius has a Sam Knight's kit, but as a medium unit. I mean, Sam Knights deal a lot of damage, especially in Rags. They have a move called they have Blind Spot, but then they have Blind Spot Sweep. And Blind Spot Sweep, if you use the Lucius bot, deals 560% total damage.
Okay.
It's a lot of damage.
Important to know here, the only light unit picked was a satyr.
This seems like they might
Only
be
light
having
unit picked. Oh,
an issue here. Something's
we're
happening.
having some tissues, some tech issues.
Okay,
No,
looks like
okay. We're back.
they might have been.
So,
they're in a voice channel together. They could be saying, "Hey, you know, do you want to? You can swap a unit if you want." Anyway, sorry.
Ooh, Cultist is a bit risky in the pit.
It's risky in the pit, but Ragnarok did buff the Cultists on this latest patch. It's actually quite spicy now.
My king does get a mongrel in. Not a mongrel shaman. I won't forgive you for this, but a mongrel nonetheless. For those of you who haven't seen this before, the pit is basically this very small and very, how should I put it? Claustrophobic map. Everyone's basically next to each other. It's an all-out brawl. All-out brawl. People are, when you're shoulder to shoulder like this, the attacks are going to come hot and fast. Very tough for maneuvering. I'm kind of surprised. Kind of surprised we didn't see something like a Minotaur. I love the Cyclops pick, but Minotaurs are actually pretty good here with their overrun and their ability to knock things over. But it is dangerous. It is dangerous for all support units. A satyr is also kind of boggling. If the satyr isn't careful, he will be clapped to death quickly. Also, where do you put your skeleton to make sure he's not surrounded by heavies and murdered instantly?
So it was actually, I was kind of thinking when you were talking about the Minotaur, I was actually thinking about that with the Scarab plus the skeleton first pick. Honestly, as Braigs, I might have actually gone like, instead of going Centurion Bony, I might have actually gone a Minotaur, because in the straight brawl where the Minotaur doesn't need to spend time getting set up and he can just plant his feet and use Rampage, he could probably knock someone's block off in one hit.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. The Minotaur really struggles in places where he has to do lots of moving, lots of wasting time with like tramples and trying to get overruns. In this point, when you're shoulder to shoulder, you can put the Minotaur next to the skeleton and literally blow up the skeleton in a single turn, if it works out, of course. Not seeing that here, that's fine. The skeleton, I believe, is the bottom right. No heavies next to the skeleton. The satyr, actually, I would be putting that satyr down last. The satyr has an opportunity to kind of sneak away.
Well, he's got the satyr. He put the satyr right behind the Cyclops. The satyrs, not satyr. Sorry, the mongrel went down behind the Cyclops. The mongrels have Backstabber, and I believe they might have Surprise Attack. But that Cyclops is going to be eyes locked with whichever unit they're already peering at.
Yeah.
Which, if that mongrel gets a first turn, he might one-shot the Cyclops.
Yeah, it's going to be, the damage is going to come hot and fast. If you're used to the level 5s, the percentage health you can lose because the builds are so optimized and tight, one-shots can happen very easily here if you're not careful. The multiplicative nature of some of the items, like it's not just you get flat damage, it's you get more percent damage, which is huge.
The mongrel wearing the helmet is actually really funny.
I know. All right, well, let's see it. We have a
First
satyr
match, going. I'm looking at the flammable breath here. Yep, this is what I thought was going to come in. That's two people's hits. That's not bad. It does not hurt allies. I actually don't recall what Battle Dance does.
I would immediately. You cannot be setting up in the pit. You need to be attacking ASAP.
The meters are on.
Abort.
Something's incorrect. Holy cow, we might need to rerun it. I will be right back. I need to go chat with them. It seems I have paused. Yeah, maybe here. Remember what you guys picked as units? Hopefully, abort and go back to the main menu. There's a option I forgot to toggle in the main menu.
Yeah.
That is my bad.
First time meterless.
Yeah,
I understand.
I've literally never played meterless in my life. Pull it back.
It's like, wait a minute, that's a meter.
I just love how quickly you react. Just instant. No, fuck this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Try to select and place as you guys did, so that way it's fair. But sorry about that.
Yeah.
Jumping back into it. Rookie mistake. I've truth be told, never played meterless in this game in my life.
Oopsie.
If you're seeing this on YouTube, you're not seeing this on YouTube.
Yeah, you want to drop the stream for me? Speaking of more things that won't be making it past the YouTube cut. This is why you need to.
It's in the Gladius stream channel if you're actually looking for it.
No, a Discord stream, so I don't have latency.
My bad.
You're fine. See, you don't get to experience my suffering in without Twitch, where I have to stare at the screen awkwardly and not talk
for 4 seconds.
This is for 4 seconds. This is a Twitch exclusive event.
Now we get to see if they can remember where they put their units. Yeah, I've never played meterless in this game. I have played Final Fantasy Tactics, which does not have meters. It's, I love Final Fantasy Tactics, but this game having meters growing up for me, like it having meters just is so synonymous with Gladius. I can play it without the meters. I've played games like this without meters. There's just something else. Like there's something more to playing a tactical game, but feeling like you have more control.
Well, I am the #1 person to get screwed over by luck. I'm like, as an XCOM enjoyer, I've been XCOM more times than I'd like to admit. The first time JR and I tried something like a golf mode in XCOM, we both immediately died by missing multiple 95% shots. So he knows me. He knows me all too well. So I love meters because then it's the latency's fault, not my luck's fault, and that's a skill issue I can get over. Do we see the immediate flammable breath? Hopefully
I believe
no
so.
Meter this time.
Hopefully no meter this time. Hey, we did it.
It just happened.
We've done it. 192 damage coming out.
Big hit, but the miss on the Mongrel is actually huge. The Mongrel could get a kill here.
I think it's the either combo attack or something to the back. 100% hit.
Hobbling kick. Hobbling kick.
No,
okay.
I honestly thought that we were going to see like a combo attack 3 one-shot play or something. Braigs figuring out right now that the mediums do not have that good a chance of hitting light units.
Yeah.
It's a 25% chance to dodge.
Yeah, it's kind of huge, which is why affinity attacks are so
interesting.
Affinity attacks are so important here for murdering lights. You have to be
2 turns in a row.
Oh my goodness! A super kick. Let it be known, the Cyclops is not dead. That's actually huge still.
That is crazy to me that Mongrel got 2 turns before anybody else in the game got to go. Is their initiative that high?
Uh-oh.
Sinister laughing. Coming in here, maybe?
The only problem I feel is that why are you putting this many resources into killing this the Cyclops when you could have just combo 3'd him to death and be done with it? This Mongol could have killed the Cyclops and moved on.
I actually don't know if the combo attack would have guaranteed kill, because on meterless, the combo attacks actually have a chance to miss. Like the AI can light hit. I honestly think that an I-beam here kills both the Cyclops and the Scarab, but they are both CC'd at the moment, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter.
It's just wanting, if you want to get 2 of them off the... Oh my god, the powered
Oh
I-beam,
my.
95% chance to hit. The auto revive, but blinded.
Oh my.
Still
and
75% chance to hit while blinded. Are you kidding me?
And that is why the risk of mediums is so high here.
Oh,
I mean,
two-turn
without the-
petrification.
Oh, that's massive. Are we gonna see a swing back?
They're checking.
Oh, checking. Petrification was not on the list of immunities.
Yeah, they would need Indomitable Will for that.
Yep. Sister Laughter
Holy
comes out.
cow.
3 petrification. That was the Mongrel's 3rd turn, by the way. The Mongrel is fucking going.
I honestly, like, they're feared as well. When their petrification ends, they're still going to be feared. I honestly think another Flame Breath here would do wonders for Rinny's position. Oh, this is a heal move right here. We got maybe a 25% heal. I think Hera the dog is actually a cleanse.
Oh. But he's instead going for the initiative, which is kind of crazy considering...
Poisoning the mongrels is
Is he
actually crazy
tooting?
because you take poison damage at the start of your own turn.
Yeah, is he gonna toot on him? Or does he just go for the
mass
crippling
damage.
blow? The mass damage. Let it be known he's at 100%. This is the best chance to get a regular attack off.
Interesting, the unit turned to face for that.
Oh,
That makes them, if they turn to face, that actually makes them take less damage. Back attacks are worth like 50% more.
that random fall animation is so perfect.
It's because he was petrified.
Yeah, he had to go through the order of operations of getting CC'd, which is kind of funny.
Also, I'd like to apologize for viewers for if there's any sort of like stuttering or FPS dropping. Both these players are far international, and it can cause a little bit of latency discrepancies. That's not your stream messing up. That is Dolphin
It's
not being
totally
able to handle
normal.
it.
It is the beauty of playing an age-old game with people from all over the world.
Exactly. I got a moment to talk to Braigs before the game started. I believe they're from Australia, and I believe Rinny is from the UK. So it's quite late for both of them. That's why this match is a little bit earlier in the day than the other matches that are happening. And that's the first one
Attack.
down.
Cyclops goes down. First Cyclops down. The Mongrel is back up, but he is feared, so he loses his turn. These next few choices of the skeletons is insanely important. Do you walk for the Mongrel and trust the petrification to do what it needs to do?
That's only a 24% chance to hit.
Oh, that's a yikes. That's a yikes. Because he's blinded. The blind's still there. That blind was massive. If you...
Defense
on
up,
guard.
interesting.
Defense up. That's an interesting play because we do know this.
Go ahead.
We do know the Cyclops has quite a few turns of CC left, but at the same time,
I think the flammable breath into next turn affinity attacking is actually crazy because Satyrs affinity attack, if I recall, is actually a breath attack now too. And using a breath attacking 3 people would actually give this guy most of his affinity.
yeah. Vault of Breath.
The Jug Bomb?
Now there's a good sound.
Jug
That's
Bomb.
stun-
Oh,
it's stuns.
70%. That's a
stuns.
huge stun. Okay, it's definitely tooting time.
I think
Mongrels-
you poison the mongrel while they can't dodge. No, not Gas Cloud
No,
will
no,
petrify, but I think a
Petrify
poison
is
here.
cool, but I think a poison here is just you want to get the Mongrel off the board. And the Mongrel's so good at dodging
Toot.
your team, he's gonna have so much trouble.
He's got wounded
Oh,
counter.
wounded counter. Fortunately, the Scarab's
Holy
not
cow.
taking too much damage.
What is this mongrel's initiative?
That is okay. What do we see now?
None of. Keep in mind, Braigs Centurion has not gotten a turn yet.
Yeah, hasn't moved at all, and it's still petrified, I believe. So it's not. It won't be taking a turn for a long time.
That sinister
Initiatives-
laugh out of the skeleton really just shut down Braigs' team
Yeah.
here.
And you're really seeing the trouble with heavies in high level gameplay. The initiative differences, which are big in level 5s, becomes truly enormous as the levels scale.
Think
The
Rob-
ability to CC people gets worse and you just need to be careful. You need to be careful with your heavies. Sometimes you'll just sit there and die.
The revive.
Beautiful scare. The revive comes out. Does that cleanse the poison? It doesn't look like the poison's happening.
No. Well,
And the
on the
Mongols-
scarab, the scarabs will stay poisoned. It's actually interesting. I thought scarabs had poison immunity. Oh, that was a crit.
Oh, crit, super crit. It's really looking like we're gonna get a mongrel cleanup here. If only the shaman was around.
Yeah. See, oh, never mind. It is a breath attack, but it's a single target breath attack. It's not AOE. That'd be a little insane.
Hair of the dog. Kinda not needed.
This match so far has literally just been, if Rinny could have killed that mongrel, I think Braigs would have just been shafted.
Yeah, but they couldn't. So
It's okay.
you
So
know.
here's, I think it's because of the light to mediums, light steal less damage to mediums. That undead on the ground who's knocked down and stunned would have taken less damage from that affinity attack than the mongrel did, or than the cyclops did.
Wow. What are we seeing here? The mongrel is kind of blocked
On guard
off. You need
spam.
to take an on guard spam. On guard.
They're recharging SP.
Yeah,
Boney
Yep,
not
for
even
sure.
in the turn order. Did you see that?
that was wild.
It's
Centurion
because
still hasn't gone yet.
it's because when you're stunned, you like when you're feared, you pass your turn. When you're stunned, you don't even get a turn, and you're stunned until 3 turns of the. I think for this one it was 3 of the satyr's turns.
Did you see that? Did you see that? That was a Centurion turn, fellas.
Honestly, the breath attack here goes. Nah, maybe it doesn't go as crazy because it's not hitting everybody.
Jug bonk, YOLO jug bonk on the mongrel.
Rinny's searching for damage on.
48. That is ugly.
Yeah.
That is very ugly.
Rinny's searching for damage on the Cyclops and the Bony Boy.
Here it comes. Flammable breath. Satyr doing a ton of work here.
Yeah, it might
Good
not
hit.
be enough.
Might not be. It might be too little, too late.
Oof, that's just
Definitely-
scare attack coming in for the clutch kill.
Air attack is a dead Cyclops 94% of the time. Good hit. Okay. Okay, it is now.
The Centurion is just
There's a
having a
Centurion
great
still
time.
thinking.
I think you killed the Satyr here. I think the game's just over.
I think
Like
I
you
do,
got
I
you've
do
got the
think so.
combo wombo, which is also buffed in Ragnarok's. Holy moly.
Holy
That's
moly,
guaranteed
Dark Affinity.
damage.
It's a guaranteed kill. You cannot.
Well, it's
crit
not
fail the
guaranteed kill.
affinity
It would
attack.
leave them. They can't crit, so it's gonna leave them with like 1 HP.
Satyrs don't like dying.
Oh, okay, okay. Let it be known if you haven't watched before. Affinity attacks are basically meterless, no accuracy, just go.
Yeah, the 100% hit chance, and they deal flat
Yep.
damage.
Which is why they're actually quite huge when you're looking at lights. When you're looking at killing lights, mediums with affinity attacks with good affinities is a beautiful way to try and take away lights whose primary defense is their dodge.
Rinny trying to look for a way out, is not seeing one. That
It's
Centurion has really put in work.
Oh, why the Centurion though?
There's just no.
I don't know.
I
There's
think-
just no good options.
Yeah, your Satyr dies here to the mongrel no matter what, so you might as well just try to get damage down. But at this point, I think Rinny has resolved themselves to knowing that this fight is just doomed. A
It's
good
doomed.
roam out of the
Ugh.
Centurion and this. Oh, that guy does not take that much damage. I forgot.
He's been spamming on guard for a hot
Well,
minute.
on guard just raises your defense. It doesn't reduce how much damage you take. But I do remember from looking at this undead skeleton, he has an amulet that gives physical damage reduction, and his shield gives physical and spell damage reduction, which both stack together. He probably is taking 50% reduced damage right now.
Wow. Oh no, shatter self from the confused. Oh, it's so
So an
unfortunate
interesting
he
thing to
kills
note
himself.
is if you are confused and feared, your unit still gets to take a turn. It's just you don't get to
Wow.
control it because
Was that the?
that was Braigs' win. This is a best of 3, so if Braigs gets another win back here,
So what would you do if you're Rinny here? first thinking about arenas first.
Not take the pit.
That's for sure. I think introduction.
Sorry, my fucking cat just bit me. Let me go back to the commentation screen real quick. Take a look at these teams. Rinny's team has an archer, a peltist, all sorts of good things that are good for range combat, whereas Braigs' team focuses primarily on melee. I would honestly pick a big map. Personally, I know all the maps. I would go for the Ice Road. The Ice Road is very big, and you can place your units really far apart. Scorched Oasis also okay.
Oasis.
This is one of the maps that I reworked slightly. So if Rinny takes the Archer, I honestly believe Archers go ham this game. There is a spot in the middle of the Oasis where the Archer can just sit and nothing bad will happen to them.
Do let it be known that skeletons make archers fairly miserable. So skeletons are an option.
This is true, but Braigs has no range characters, so if Rinny was able to get a...
Oh, it's absolutely... I mean, if you put an archer with a heavy by it
Peltis too. Peltis strong. If Rinny doesn't take any range characters here, then like this Peltis spear has super range and bleeding. And bleeding does 10% max HP damage per tick.
Oh, there's the Peltis. Pretty
now Braigs has to be
obvious.
Braigs has to be careful here about selecting heavy units, because with their large health pool, getting 10% of your health lost per turn to bleed damage is actually debilitating.
Is it a Valkyrie? Is it a Valkyrie play?
Valkyries do have Icarus wings, which allow them to be able to jump around the map. The shield was off a little bit there in the model.
and they make
they're
very good at making archers extremely uncomfortable. Boney comes in, that makes plenty of sense.
Boney is immune
the question
to
is
bleed.
what now? Yep,
Wolf?
immune to
Interesting
bleed.
wolf pickup. Not sure about the wolf pickup.
See, I like wolves when they're being used by Swift, and they're being extremely obnoxious and CCing everything and buffing each other. I am not so sure about solo wolf picks. I'm a little less about it.
The Vermillo comes down.
Okay, I'd love to see a Valk. You need something that closes the distance.
I believe they are giving Rinny a small advantage here by allowing Braigs to take 2 picks here. Is it also the Minotaur? Nope. Sam Knights are incredibly powerful in Rags mod. They received a lot of quality of life stuff to make them viable damage and tanks. Unfortunately, I don't believe there's any what are they called? Taunt moves. I don't believe there's any taunt moves in this game, so if you're a human player, you just, you know, can ignore them.
Okay, now we get a 1 and a 1. Okay. Oh my.
Oh, they both did have an undead summoner. I didn't even notice that. That's my bad.
It is an undead summoner. If you put that with the archer, you basically have walking piles of meat to waste time.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm starting to see...
Cyclops is pretty good against undead. Because they are considered magic and heavy, which both compound. And we got
But what is...
the counter Peltis.
But what the real question is, who is closing the distance on these range units?
Minotaur's running attack has a +2 to its movement range, so they can move about 5 tiles to get in. I thought we were about to see Minotaur in the center island. I thought we were about to get big brain. An actual massive brain play here is to put your undead summoner on the middle island. If somebody puts if Braigs puts their Peltis on center island, Rinny putting their undead summoner on the center island would actually be crazy, because the Peltis wouldn't be able to kill the undead summoner. It looks like the undead summoner.
The Peltis is behind. The Peltis is second in the back.
Yeah, so Braigs is baiting Rinny, wanting Rinny to put her undead skeleton summoner in the center island, and then goading them so that he can then play. Braigs can at least put down another melee unit.
Now,
will we see it? Will we see it?
Do you overload? Do you risk your team getting overran to keep that summoner safe? They don't.
Now the question is, does Braigs take the island and try to do a long wraparound? It'll take the undead legionnaire at least 3 turns to reach Rinny's side. I purposely set up the island to favor player 1 in this scenario.
Yeah.
But interestingly, Rinny doesn't take it.
Interesting. Because you could have done a fighting retreat. There is always a time for you to get on the island, get your units where you want them, do a fighting retreat back to the choke near the bridge, and make something happen because you have extra units with the Undead Summoner. But we're not seeing it. Instead, we're seeing a long con flank. Let it be known, though, there is a unique amount of risk. There is a very angry Minotaur, and it is a 3v4 at this moment before the CC comes in.
Yeah,
And
if you can get in there.
If you can get in there and start denying turns to their useful units, the Wolf, for example, they just might be losing units before they can take turns.
Here's the issue: is both the Peltas have a spear that applies bleed when hit. If the way that they're set up, the Peltas can actually throw over the top of the Wolf. If Rinny tries to move their units too close to Braigs' units, he will just throw spears over the top of his Wolf at Rinny's team. But Rinny also can't just stay back because the Peltas has a long enough range and currently has line of sight to hit that Murmillo. Keeping in mind, the Murmillo does have enhanced defense against ranged attacks that should be about a 25% hit chance at all times.
Yeah, but you can just keep throwing. The waiting game infinitely benefits the flanking skeleton here.
Well,
the hat.
Now, interestingly, I believe this skeleton actually has a revive amulet on it.
The summoner or
I believe the undead summoner has a revive amulet.
Okay. I wasn't expecting that for sure, but maybe
I mean, it keeps your summon alive. If you drop down to 0 HP with an ability, it doesn't break any of your concentration stuff. It will just immediately cycle you back up to half HP as if nothing happened.
Okay. Well, you see the long con.
Here he comes.
Here he comes.
Let's see if there's line of sight. Long throw 1. Indirect fire can hit the Samnite. That's very little damage, but it will apply the 10% max HP bleed.
It will apply the bleed. It will apply the bleed.
Wow, that is some range. I believe here,
Huge
honestly,
range.
In my personal opinion, you go for the Peltist every time.
Oh, absolutely. 88, you have to do it. You do not want their Peltus hitting your Minotaur. And doing it against the skeleton is a complete waste of time.
Once someone gets that bleed on them, it's just, I don't know why that Samnite is taking so little damage, but getting the bleed on her would actually be insane too.
It'd be massive. I mean, you just want to be, uh-oh, here it comes. This is an important hit. Big hit. The bleeding applied. Now the question is...
Let's see if we get a skeleton summon here. Do you gum up the bridge on the right to stop Braigs' skeleton from coming in, or do you summon a skeleton in the middle of Braigs' team?
Whoa, we have an undead summoner teleport. We have an undead skeleton teleport here.
I don't think we'll see a teleport. I'm wondering if you summon the undead melee on the bridge to block this guy from ever coming forward. Literally, you will not be able to come forward if you put a skeleton on that bridge.
Or do you put it to ruin line of sight for the enemy Peltas? You just dump a skeleton right into the choke, and then Minotaur is completely untouched. You only get the option to hit a Murmillo or a skeleton, both of whom have better than not chances of resisting the Peltas' attacks.
Yeah. Well, this undead summoner just cannot bleed, so...
What? I don't think teleport was the play at that moment in time, but...
I think getting a skeleton out ASAP is the play, because these skeletons take so long to get their turn.
Uh-oh. Destroy shield incoming.
That is not an unbreakable shield, if I'm remembering correctly.
Oh, boy.
This might become the most worthless Murmillo on the map.
This is gonna be ugly, and it's a huge chance to hit. Oh, there goes the destroy shield.
The 8% chance? Accuracy down, defense down.
Oh my god, that is terrible. And INI down. Oh boy.
That is an 8% chance to block. Pulled through.
Welcome to Meterless. Welcome to Meterless, baby.
Welcome to Meterless.
In Metered, that Murmillo shield is stripped and the Murmillo is suffering. Welcome to the real world, baby. Life just doesn't work the way you want it to. Does that cleanse the bleed?
Not if it
Oh,
fails.
and it failed. Oh, this is just getting
It's
more
gotta
and
be
more
a
tragic.
it's gotta be a skeleton here, or else why would you take the summoner?
Yeah.
That I don't know what she has on her. That Sam Knight is tank. They need to get a bleed applied onto that Sam Knight ASAP.
Yeah, the Sam Knight needs to eat attacks like yesterday. Okay,
I think
we
it's too
are-
late. Yeah, I think that
It's too late to
summoning a
save the bridge.
skeleton.
It's too late to save the bridge.
I think throwing a skeleton on the bridge actually would have been a Giga Brain play. They want
It's a great idea, but it's too late. I don't understand the teleport exactly. They're trying to protect the Minotaur,
Yeah.
which I completely understand. But
Rinny
if
wants
you
to
want the
drop this-
Minotaur,
dropping the skeleton
if
here to
you-
not break line of sight. Yeah, I don't understand.
I
I think they're saving
yeah,
the Minotaur to kill the Undead Legionnaire.
which is fine. I completely agree with that. If you want to do that, but at that point you should be summoning a skeleton 2 in the middle, and walking your Minotaur in right behind it. Because as soon as the Minotaur reaches that line, you're winning.
Impeding Strike is
we-
actually massive. This is a new ability that's added in Rags mod. When it connects, I'm pretty sure it reduces initiative by like 30 or 50%.
Yikes.
Slow turn.
Slow
Not even
turn.
initiative, it's
Huge
slow
slow
turn. It
turn.
makes your next turn come around super, super late.
Okay, at this point, it is still anyone's game. The real question is, what are we doing here?
Oh, I don't think teleport's the play. I think, actually, Rinny might have Death Touch. They might be going for teleport next to Sam Knight, Death Touch for the insta-kill in 2 turns. But if you teleport there, you block your own Peltus from being able to do anything. Interestingly, after
The
those
Peltus
first...
is already... Well, if you teleport to the farthest, you can move the Peltus 2 units to the right, and it should make sure the Murmillo's okay.
Gut Basher. I mean,
Gut
even
Basher.
Peltus now have ranged auto attacks too. So moving 2 tiles up and getting a ranged auto on that Sam Knight will also apply bleeding, which right now does
Yeah.
about 70 damage per turn.
On guard isn't the worst thing here, especially because of how miserable the Peltus is, because of what happened to it. Gut Basher...
Slow turn.
Beautiful
this,
slow turn.
What is this Undead Summoner's... Oh, it's
This
frontal
is like-
defense. The Sam Knight has frontal
Oh.
defense. That's why she's so tanky.
Oh. And it's feared. Oh, uh-oh.
That's not
Uh-oh.
But that's what the Minotaur's for. That's what the Minotaur's
Yeah,
for.
throwing at the skeleton is who cares. You need to be if you chomp through
Indirect
that
fire.
yeah, if you chomp through that heavy, you're probably winning because then nothing's impeding your group from getting in. I think throwing at the skeleton's a complete bait. You need to be just walking your Minotaur in. Fleshless target is completely negating whatever that Peltus is doing. Beautiful hit. Does this apply the bleed?
It will.
Oh,
That unit
bleeding.
is
The
done
bleeding
for
goes
now.
off. That unit
Whoa,
is
did you see
dead
that turn
in a few
tracker?
turns.
You see how many turns that Undead Melee is going to get?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think there's a... If Ragnarok's watching, hey Rag, I think there might be a slight issue with the Undead Legionnaires. You know what? It's probably
issue.
because it's within 1 tile of the Undead Summoner. The Undead Summoner can have an ability called Dia de los Muertos. And it will give all undead in a certain range a massive boost.
Ooh, Lupus Howl. Lupus Howl removes the bleed. Completely cuts the bleed off if the skill effect works.
I think it also cleanses the fear.
The
Fear
statuses
cleansed.
are gone. The fear's been cleansed.
With indirect fire, maybe
Huge problem
Braigs
though.
can bring it back.
The Peltus on Briggs is so bad
Oh.
right now. It's not even funny.
That exploding javelin actually does a lot of damage to this undead skeleton. Oh, ooh,
Oh,
oh,
they're
indirect
firing
fire.
back.
Oh,
You should be throwing it at the Minotaur, I think. I understand the Peltus, but Rinny has gotten the use out of their Peltus that they wanted.
okay. Ragnarok just
Oh.
Ragnarok just added at me and said that turn tracker's not taking into account the fact that the initiative bonus falls off this turn. So after it gets its next turn, it shouldn't get that many turns in a row.
Oh, huge running attack, block shopping time. The Minotaur is just gonna walk in
Gore,
and do
that's
what
a knockdown.
Yeah, that's a knockdown. And this skeleton 5-head walk around is now in so much trouble. Minotaurs are such beautiful space takers. The gore doesn't work out.
Through the
Oh,
block. That was a block
through
chance
the
that
block.
just got
that was
denied.
a block chance that got denied. Throw shield gets the kill. Throw shield gets a kill. Do you not pick up the kill?
I think that she bleeds out. I actually think
That is fair.
I actually think that Sam Knight would have bled out there if Rinny just let it go.
No, the bleed got cleansed. Remember the lupus howl.
My bad. Yeah, yep.
So
Sorry,
now you're
focusing
going
on a lot
out.
of
Now you
things.
need to walk right. Yeah. Now you need to walk up to the. You need to walk up to the Peltis to start. Actually, you could just go for the dog. Who does the Peltis have to hit here?
Honestly, I
They're
think combo
two-
attack into affinity attack is probably the play here, because combo attack would fully fill up your meter.
I mean, at this point, I think that Peltis could kill the Minotaur and the Peltis, and you're still fine. You're still fine in that situation.
Wow, that's a big smack.
Wow. Dude, the undead's my boy is so back, doing
It
so
turns
much
out
work.
level 10 undead summoner, pretty crap. Level 15 undead summoner.
And the TPN, I 100% doubted it, and it wasn't even for the TP. It's just to completely ruin that other Peltis. Other Peltis completely miserable right now.
Rinny's bringing it in with the skills here. We might
Very
go to a
boxed
game.
in.
We might go to a game.
We might be going to game 3. And another huge thing, that Mermillo getting the dodge on the shield break.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh,
We got
double
CC in the
fear.
back. And she's petrified.
But there's 3 in the front. And the dog's not gonna do enough to be undead summon.
I would also like to note for people watching and trying to understand why there are so many female units on all these teams is because the Amazons are actually extremely powerful, and against male characters they deal like 25 to 30% more damage.
Let it be known, the Skellington is gone. The Skellington summon is gone. Oh no! Dark Affinity Attack 3 does not get the kill.
It's so close. Actually, I believe it applies a fear, so she would at least get shut down.
But is it worth shutting her down, or is it worth just going after the dog? Probably shutting her down.
The
Beautiful
Mermillo,
hit.
Mermillo can take care of the dog
That
because that's light to medium.
Yeah.
Digging
you
for
just
the
walk
throw
up and
shield
start-
too, not enough. One tile short.
Not enough.
It's the
Walk up to the
up.
dog
Just
and start
walk up.
smacking. Yep. Walk up to the dog, start smacking.
You walk there, throw shield, smack.
Yep.
But they're going for the
Yep.
drive
Walking
by.
right up. Yep. Walking right up to the dog. Summoner the summoner's right where it wants to be right now.
So people are not allowed to have death items, but there was nothing that said anything about death skills. So you could have death touch in the undead summoner, which or I think it's called Reaper. Maybe it's death touch. I can't remember when I got
Skeleton
changed.
1 is the one. Is Skeleton 1 the one with INI? It is.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
big
Skeleton
Skeleton
will get a
1
turn.
here.
But maybe
Big
it won't get a
Skeleton
turn
one
for a
here.
while, but it'll be around.
It'll be around. And honestly, neutralizing the Peltis here doesn't matter whatsoever. The Peltis has done everything it wants to do.
Was that a pass?
Was that a pass? Is that a naked pass? Oh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, just do a combo 1 and murder the Peltis here, right? Doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
You got to get the
Boney's
Peltis out before she
completely
gets unfeared.
Yeah, you just need to
Excuse
get
me.
rid of her. And now your Minotaur just runs rampant over the whole game.
Well, Minotaur's gonna be feared forever.
Well, yeah, but that's if literally the 1v4 works out for the skeleton in the back there. Huge throw shield, almost one-shots the wolf. Oh, and
The
the
rampage.
Minotaur.
The rampage.
The rampage? Rampage? Why are we goring? Just kill him.
Well, rampage
Yeah.
won't one shot. They're looking for the knockdown.
Yeah. It just
Water
gets you
affinity
knocked
would
down.
also do it. Like combo into water affinity or rampage into water affinity.
I think it's just rampage and let the rest of your team do what they need
Holy
to do.
cow. That applied to confuse? What? Oh, the weapon applies confuse. There's a 33% chance on that
Affinity.
axe to apply confusion. 1 HP on the wolf.
Affinity attack doesn't take the wolf off. Does the wolf have the petrified roar?
Digging
Does
around
the wolf
in their
have the
own.
petrified roar?
I would also like to note
Terrifying.
that bleeds don't cleanse when the unit who applies them dies. So this Vermillo is now just going to be taking like 50 damage per turn. Will it matter? Yet to be seen. I don't think it will. I think
No,
Rinny's got this
because-
one in the bag.
Yeah, beautifully played. Beautifully played.
I like this Mermillo build. It's just all the throw shield, gut bash, and then every single passive effect that Mermillos can have. It makes them incredibly tanky.
terribly unfortunate for Braigs there to lose the.
The revive.
That changes everything, Jr.
The comeback. The comeback.
Did someone say comeback? A super unfortunate the Murmillo doesn't lose their shield there, but it literally feels like the Peltist on Braigs side did nothing, which is really unfortunate. Braigs side. It felt like their Peltist did nothing, and the other Peltist just chunked away at the team. And excellent Undead Summoner play. I'm back to Mongrel Shaman I Sleep. Undead Summoner, real shit. Like, we're so bad.
We're back.
We're so back.
That's
The
game 2 to
Rampage
Rinny.
just-
That's a 1-1.
I
So
would've
later
felt even
today,
more dominant.
the next match that's at 5 p.m. Pacific, that is Leonarth versus Basilisk. That's actually a semifinal due to small player base on that one. That's actually a best of 5. I'm hoping personally, as a host, it doesn't go to game 5 because then it'll run over into time onto the game that happens at 7 p.m. But as a viewer, I would love for every single match to go all the way to game 5.
Are we doing game 5 exclusively in the pit again?
the tiebreaker in the pit.
The tiebreaker in the pit?
So this is one of the maps that actually lets you select 5 people. This is also a map that I edited slightly. It has the lower area of Stadium Dreas, and then there's actually also an upper level where you can throw a couple range characters down. And if you decide to put a melee character up there to counter someone's range character, you better hope it has a teleport move, or else you're taking the 10-turn wrap from the top down to the bottom platform.
I think my favorite part is that they get to use all the joke items because their stats are good. Got the Mr. Potato Head Ogre. Okay, Minotaur Ogre picked early. So definitely we have a brawler in the bottom. The question is, do we see Peltist or Archer to do some damage from the top?
I don't know if they are aware of some of these map changes. I made these changes. I talked about them previously in some messages, but who knows if everyone reads every message I send. I don't know if people know that there is a upper platform for ranged characters. These archers are dangerous when they have the height advantage.
They're extremely dangerous. Mongrel Bandit, so they are trying to kind of counterpick these chunkers.
No Amazon on either team here. The Amazons are actually also extremely powerful because they have 2 or 3 different ways to apply poison, and they have 2 different ways to charm male units. Not that there's a lot of male units in this category, but
yeah. Should be known that we did see an Amazon do a ton of work last tournament. There was one game where the Amazon didn't do a lot, and then there was one game where the Amazon basically won the round.
Yeah. So
for
interestingly,
their respective team.
the amount of light units that Braigs has on his team that he didn't take an ogre, because ogres get they get 25% damage reduction for if they're facing their target if there's a light unit near them, and they also give light units 25% initiative bonuses.
So we're seeing 2 heavies, a couple mediums.
Is there a
Ooh,
light
Dark Wolf?
pickup? Because I have a feeling Rinny's going to want an Undead Summoner again. Interesting. I'm not sure what they're doing with the alternating picks. I told them 2-2, 2-2, 2-2. As long as they think it's fair, I suppose it doesn't really matter. But
As long as they're happy.
as long as it's not one person picking all 5, then the other person straight counter picking them. Cultist pickup here could actually be massive. They are CC engines now.
They are horrifically obnoxious, which is funny. So, are we seeing a complete lack of range characters? If we get an accidental range pick like a Peltist or a Archer,
Yeah, I'm not sure
it will
they
be
know.
huge, and they don't even know.
Is it
It's an Undead
the
Summoner?
Undead
It's an
Summoner
Undead
Gentleman's
Summoner.
Handshake up on the top platform?
That would be epic, actually.
You're gonna see a very interesting grid paint pattern for this map. I definitely took some creative liberties.
Oh my god. Gentleman's agreement, Undead Summoner at the top. It's gotta happen. Oh no! Oh.
Pull it back.
Pulled it back. Peltist up there going unchallenged is gonna be disgusting, by the way.
Dude,
Dervish.
I don't know if you pull another light unit in. I believe
Archer?
Rinny took some mediums. An archer, I personally think an archer pick here is actually fantastic. It doesn't even have to go
Yeah,
up on
but
the
do they-
upper platform. He turned green.
He turned green.
So if you guys look at my beautiful paint job I did for the grid lines here.
Okay, so this is like a brawl with a little happy spot up top. Do
And
we
I
get
purposely
the
put
gentleman's
them as
agreement?
close together as possible so that way nobody can try to cheese the other person on the top platform.
Yeah, that's epic. We should put the Minotaur at the top.
Now, if you see how far of distance the Minotaur would have to travel to get down and around if they get put up there, that's actually
See,
a height
Jared,
section. You can't hop down.
No. See, you do that, JR, because you want them to take fucking 15 turns to try and reach you on the Minotaur. The Minotaur's winning the fight up there.
What you do is
Then
you put one person puts the undead summoner up top, the other person puts a melee, and then the undead summoner just teleports down to the lower platform, and the other person at the top's just left holding the bag.
That is 5-hit play. Are we seeing an undead summoner at the bottom? Will the other one go to the top?
Now you can
Undead
tell
summoner at the bottom.
it's taking them a long time to choose where they want to put their units because I painted this map so eloquently.
Oddly. Yes. It's epic. It's epic.
Now we got Minotaur on undead summoner violence.
Oh god. Let it be known, if that undead summoner has death touch, there's a skissue. That Minotaur dies. And trading
maybe.
a Minotaur for an undead summoner.
It requires five. It requires 5 affinity orbs in order to cast Death Touch.
That is fair. But imagine the Minotaur just gets plucked off by a
So
an
interesting
errant-
placement. Interesting placement out of Braigs Bandit. He put it one tile off and facing to the left, so that way he could still surprise attack and get behind the Minotaur. But a medium unit would not be able to just immediately get on them.
Oh, it's just a brawl.
I don't know if Briggs knows that Minotaurs by default have innate face. They will always face the opponent that's attacking them, no matter what.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
can't get backstab damage off with the mongrel.
By the way, we do have an undead summoner being
And a
face to
channeler.
face with a Minotaur. Now we have an undead summoner with a face to face to a Skitcher. So we have some heavy versus undead summoner matchups.
Interesting the channeler pick to counter pick the undead summoner, because the undead summoner will use undead life, and then the channeler can just steal all of his affinity.
But does the channeler get clapped to death?
Oh no, channelers. This channeler probably has full Del and some other abilities. Arcane units don't have a weight class, so they actually take like not as much damage as you'd expect, because typically you weight class out your opponent. There is precedent here for a channeler on the top platform, but they won't be able to get down to the bottom fight easily if they're not in range, and it's hard to tell without knowing every single ability in the game if that channeler is going to have the range.
Do you risk stranding your channeler at the top?
Honestly, if you get her close to the edge, because... Wait, no, this is Braigs placing. Never mind. Because Rinny put their undead summoner farther in the back, I actually don't think you do. If they were, if the undead summoner was further to the right, then yes.
Okay. Something to think about for future contestants for sure.
There are a few contestants in the chat right now, so you guys are getting you might get a leg up
A
against
sneak
your
peek.
opponents. A little sneaky
A sneak
peeky.
peek. Yeah, but that's the benefit of watching your competition, eh?
That's the unfortunate part of not being in the United States and getting first picked because of time constraints.
Yeah, they've been had.
So that
We're gonna see
that ogre, I don't believe Braigs has a not Braigs. I don't believe Rinny has a light unit on the map. So that ogre actually is not getting its free buffs.
Yeah, and it looks like the Myrmidon's about to take a little napsy.
I don't know. I need to look up what strong incapacitate does. Is that
It's
also
basically a
petrify?
stun.
No,
Oh,
not
it
if
failed.
misses. Not if it misses, it's not. See, so Seal
Oh,
Affinity
that's a
is...
yikers.
Oh, the tornado! Oh, this is single target tornado. I think Braigs is going to get rid of this undead legionnaire so he can't play the game. Bye! Where'd he go? Where'd he go?
Where'd he go?
Wait,
Is
where
he
did he go?
upstairs? Is he upstairs? Is he
Oh,
upstairs?
okay. I thought he was going to get
Oh,
upstairs.
lucky.
He almost
So
got sent.
lucky.
He almost got sent to the other continent.
And unfortunately,
This
they
Minotaur gets to go
realized
next.
therefore that the Minotaur doesn't give a shit about facing the back. He's got innate face, and now we've
it's
got
poisoned.
a Minotaur who, while poisoned, is about to clap your undead summoner.
Wait,
and
what?
make him very. Wait, no, you can't be.
Okay, that's understandable.
Oh,
So interesting thing
that's-
about Stadium Dries, I purposely painted grid lines so they're all in the same height here, but if you go even 2 tiles behind that undead summoner, you actually start getting height advantage damage.
Wow.
Because
Wow,
the map
that's
is designed to
remember.
give half, you can see it starts to slope up. It actually gives half a height for every step up that it takes. So you actually get more damage the higher up that platform you are.
That was a decent gore, but don't you just rampage there and just go for a knockdown?
No, he moved so that way, sorry, not he. Rinny moved their unit because the double lights behind will just eviscerate that Minotaur on the following turn.
Oh,
You
that's
don't need
true,
more
that's
bleeds
true.
and stuns and all sorts of things. But now instead, Braigs has to spend time moving his units over to the Minotaur.
Yeah, they gotta wait. But do they just turn on the ogre and go for the freer target?
So the ogre not having a light unit within 3 tiles, diamond of it. Okay, it's interesting. The ogre has distraction, so Rinny deliberately chose distraction, but then also didn't take a light unit this fight. So that ogre is not getting 25% damage reduction on frontal attacks and is not giving light units 25% bonus initiative.
And odd.
I actually don't. Yeah, I was gonna say, I don't think moving the bandit there is a great play because
Yep,
the
there goes 3/4 of the ogre's health. That's a yikes.
yeah, you just have to be careful about your placement because that dark wolf is a medium unit.
Yep, and it's gonna walk up and chomp.
I don't think
are
it
you
matters.
willing to trade off?
I think you blow it. 360 damage.
360 is 360, and the counter
Double
attack.
counter.
Double counterattack. Shield takes both of them. Okay. Question is, what do you do now? They did a
Yeah, this
beautiful
undead summoner's
job.
in a bad spot.
They did a beautiful job. They did a very beautiful job of the undead summoner last game. Completely outdid all of our expectations. I think you'd say.
There's an ad
What
break
is their
coming up just
plan?
for people who are watching. But
What is the plan for the undead summoner now? Darkness from life seems obvious.
Affinity
Only
attack 3 on the
17.
Centurion and not get insted. Unfortunately, that drains your own ally's affinity, but it will also drain your enemy's affinity. This is a huge amount of damage in the back. That's a back stat. Oh, never mind. Maybe they have innate
There's a
face.
25% chance.
Oh, they had rear guard.
Oh, and they have always face.
I wonder if you honestly you drain affinity here and screw over that undead summoner that the Minotaur is molesting.
Might be worth. That's so much trouble.
Oh, that
Ooh, it
actually
hits!
hits and group attack.
Ooh, a group attack! It's so huge. The shield stays alive. The shield's taking quite a few hits here.
Let's see if
You
Rinny
cannot be
has any
going
moves
Oh.
of petrification move.
The toot.
Well, give him a little toot toot.
A little toot. Oh, is
Not
Ambrosia
immune to
gonna
the
get to
toot.
take? Not immune to the toot. No, purging yourself cannot be the play. You're dead. You're dead to rights. Just stun someone.
It's gotta be the double petrification.
It's gotta be.
Stench knocks people back and fears them. Not sure how it will work if the bandit actually can't be knocked back.
That's never.
It's
worked.
gotta
You
be
need-
the
you need to
fearsome
be
funk.
seeing. You gotta be CCing. Yeah, I would
The
be doing that every
ABCs of
time.
Gladius always be CCing.
Yep.
And
Oh.
it missed.
And it fails. And the ogre does nothing and dies, just like me. A truly aspirational ogre.
The
here.
teleport?
Teleports out?
I would
don't know
teleport
if
behind
getting
the
next to-
Centurion.
I don't know if hanging out with the dog is the play. The meterless giveth, the meterless taketh away. The meterless gave a free hit, took away the fearsome funk.
Although that exact placement for the unit was probably not that great because the channeler's line of sight is now blocked.
Yeah, that is a bit unfortunate, and now the channeler is going to have a bit of trouble ruining the other undead
Uh-oh.
summoner.
Is it-
Uh-oh.
is it
There's gonna
cheek
be some
clapping time?
damage. I don't think you're using that against the ogre, right? I mean, the roam's good, but you're not killing the ogre. Why not start fucking up the
target
summon?
arm is like an initiative debuff or something, or maybe it's a stun. I can't remember. Target arm
I don't
might
see-
be the play. It did the most damage.
Yeah.
It's an
I
initiative
think
debuff
it's
for target
armor,
leg.
It's arm or leg. Both arm or leg reduce
That was a
it by
confuse, but
33%.
the proc didn't go off because the percent chance to do it.
I think the skeleton might be immune to confuse.
No, it's not. There's all the weapons that apply confuse, they'll say confuse, but they have a percent chance to proc. It's either 10 or 33% depending on the weapon.
There's... Do you...
That would
You got a dark
That's a
3
fear.
something, right? Yeah, just get a really nice hit off on your bandit. Beautiful hunger for
That's-
life. Beautiful fear. Mongrel is gonna definitely pick up this ogre here, but it's not
That
like
is-
we weren't expecting that.
That is
Ooh.
feared and poison on the bandit. Whenever she passes her turn, she's going to take poison damage. That bandit is probably just
Yeah.
going to pass herself to death.
Yep. 100% right. And the ogre is still not dead. This ogre is kind of stubbornly sitting around when we thought it'd be dead in seconds. Minotaur doesn't give a shit about the mongrel right now.
Quick
dog
kick,
doesn't
will
either.
apply festering claws and poison somebody too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of poison going on right now. Surprisingly, not you'll see more poison at the level 10 bracket because it does flat damage. Those counterattacks, double counter is actually crazy. One's a counterattack and one's an accessory that gives counterattack.
Okay, what's the play here? Skeleton 1 summon? Okay.
You'll notice that the undead summoner here actually has air affinity, which negates them from being able to use their dark affinity attacks, but the staff of air actually gives like plus 15 or 20 initiative. Uh-oh. We got a memory read error for a second there. I don't know if anyone else saw that.
I did. Uh-oh.
Died.
Wait. What?
What?
What? Huh?
I'll be right back. We're gonna talk to them real quick. So I don't know what that was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a memory read error right before you used that ability, and then it crashed out. So I'm not quite sure. That's a bug that happens in the game sometimes. So
Wait, where's Crash? Oh, did it like quit for you or?
no. Sorry. It gave me a memory read error, and I hit ignore for the session. It looked like it was gonna crash, and then it didn't. So
Oh, okay.
the
yeah.
game's still going. I'm not sure how you two want to handle that. That is a known bug. We don't really have a way to set the game state back.
Yeah. No, we'll just play it out as is.
Play it as it lies. All right.
Yeah, there's not much you can do about
Alright.
that.
All right. I talked to the other contestants. They're accepting the randomness that was getting bugged.
What can I say? That's meterless, baby.
Well, that happens on meter too.
I know,
That's a-
but that's meterless, baby.
We think it's a bug that has to do with the amount of effects that are possibly going off in the game at the moment, and there's a lot of poison and other random status effects being thrown around right now.
By the way, the steel affinity is not as good after the
Is this
affinity tack just got used.
Ameliorate on... Oh, it's line of sight blocked by your own... That's what I was saying. That undead summon is not in a good place. You can heal the summoner, though.
That is so tragic.
Line of sight break on yourself. Heal all status conditions of allies in a certain area. Not bad. That would cleanse the fear and the poison, maybe gave her another turn. And that just happens. I don't believe there's a... I don't actually think there's a chance off for that one. Most of those channelers' abilities just happen.
Oh, that's good to know.
Like the heals and
Definitely
stuff, like
something to
they
consider.
just heal.
Skeleton 1, part 2?
He's trying it again.
Do
He's
you
trying it
risk-
again.
Do you risk the skeleton fail? Oh, if it's skeleton 2, it won't go wrong, right?
Let's see what happens. Some abilities,
Ooh,
in my
coward.
opinion, are kind of off in in meterless or in PvP because the player can just ignore them.
Yep.
He has
Sure.
Okay, so Braigs has effect range increase, which means you can target things from further away, but he doesn't have, he has range increase, but he doesn't have effect range increase. So he can target things further away, but the effects are not larger.
Oh, okay.
Braigs is really deliberating if he wants to attempt a skeleton
If he
summon.
wants to try a skeleton. If the skeleton fizzles, I think the game's over.
I did not get a read error that time. And he died.
It's gone. That's probably game. That's...
I don't know what to do about that. As the host, I don't know what to do about that.
I hate to see it go down like that, because this was actually quite a good fight.
I honestly don't think it's over yet. Like, it looks like Rinny is actually going to target this undead summoner anyway, even though it is now considered worthless. So
Yeah,
if it would have died
bad.
this turn, you would have lost anyway. Like, or you would have lost the unit anyway.
Do you maze the mongrel?
Does Rinny go for the unit that is now not doing anything?
Yeah, this might be using the Fundead Summoner as a complete waste of time for the Minotaur is actually like 5-head play.
Oh, right, yeah. Leonard's just corrected me in the chat. Yes, it is ignore for this session. I thought I read it as just ignore. This is still in... I honestly think this is still in Braigs' favor.
You think so?
Yeah, because Ogre's going down here.
Yep.
What do you got
Yeah.
here? You got an undead summoner that's about to get one shot.
Yeah, that's awkward.
A sickly marrow on 3. That's not bad poison damage.
Not bad at all. But the problem is your Minotaur's off screwing around with a completely worthless undead summoner instead of doing things that are useful.
I think Rinny just taps this bandit here. I think maybe they're hoping the poison will knock it. Oh, ooh, the laughter. Oh no, we're going sinister laughter for the petrify. The petrify fear actually stops the bandit from taking a turn. Yeah, so it stops the bandit from taking a turn, so...
Fences, soldier.
Reprimand.
And there goes the poison.
Move status. Game's over. Definitely you were right. Because now, don't you just tornado this Minotaur and let him go on the long and winding road back home?
Well, if you tornado, there's a chance that he'll just pop right back up in the middle of your team. I think Sleet is a good play here if he's not immune to freeze. I didn't get to see if he was immune to freeze. Affinity burn.
Infinity Burn. Okay.
I believe that deals damage based off the quantity of infinity you have.
He can just TP out, or don't you just sit there and waste their time?
Oh, this can cause a retreat. Now, interesting thing on the retreat, the Minotaur might have Stampede. Which just immediately kills your undead summoner.
Nope.
I don't think you maybe you do go for the Minotaur here and you just try to grind him down. I think Braigs still has this one, even with those memory errors. I think Braigs got it.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think you are absolutely right.
This Dark Cat, by the way, I don't remember the last time it got a turn. It got that claw attack off and it has not taken a turn since then.
I think people sleep way too much on initiative. Why is your heavy Minotaur going faster than your Dark Cat?
I'm not so sure about this bandit move right here because that Minotaur was bleeding and poisoned. He's taking like 125 damage per turn.
Doesn't matter. Is my counter to that.
In my opinion, I think medium units get outshined in this game just in general. I think the heavies might need... something needs to change because there's no way that these medium units should be going less often than these heavy units when neither of them are wearing armor. And the Minotaur's using a weapon that gives him like minus 15 initiative.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's just, and at least Ambrosia's only gone like once or twice, but the one time she went, she cleansed like 4 fears and a petrify. So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
This is Ambrosia's, I believe this is Ambrosia's second turn.
No, it's her third. This is the third.
Is her third? Okay, third turn. It's like, but yeah, she just cleansed the whole team. There's this dead to rights bandit who's still running around doing shit. Undead summoner still.
No affinity
Jay
to steal
chilling.
because it's all on the Dark Cat. Oh, there it goes.
Take that.
What do you do with your undead summoner here? You don't have a dark weapon, so you're taking the full damage from darkness for life. You'll heal a little bit back with hunger for life.
You kill yourself,
never
and
mind.
that's how you dab on people. You kill yourself as the undead summoner.
Look at Braigs over here has a full crowd meter as well. This is a map with a crowd meter. It's got a ton, and I mean a ton of bonuses from that.
Oh, bandit ameliorator.
That's I up, hit chance up, affinity generation up, crit damage up.
Kill yourself with darkness from light, coward.
He doesn't have enough SP to cast it again.
Oh,
Holy crap!
holy shit.
Because he's not using a dark weapon, this deals bonus damage to the skeleton because it's a spell.
Jesus Christ.
That
And the
was a
roam kills him?
play. Nah, there's no room, but strike does.
Oh.
Revive.
Revive,
You like how the
revive,
music
revive.
switched back? Oh my gosh, the long range strike.
The long range group strike for another 8. Oh, it's so brutal.
The Rot Helmet. Rot Helmet is actually a move that gets kind of slept on. Helmets give, like, at this point in the game, like the helmets give upwards of like 150 HP, and they can give you immunities and things. Any item,
Anything that destroys other items, any move that destroys other items really needs to be considered.
there's
Things like
I mean, the
Peltis
only
destroy shield.
yeah, you can only destroy shields and helmets. But if you actually look at an opponent, if you press X when you're looking at them, you can see any item that has a star next to it also gives an effect, like a passive effect. So if you see a helmet that has a passive effect on a really tanky unit, you just Rot Helmet that, get it out of there. I think it takes 2 turns to fully destroy the helmet.
It's looking a little doomed right now, unfortunately.
The Channeler also deals very big damage. I believe this one has a spell up. Oh, goodbye, that guy.
And that's just a dead guy.
644.
I think it is important to mention how useful equipping that skeleton with the air staff was in cutting down enemy skeleton.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like anti undead summoner tech from your undead summoner. Because in an let's say there's an undead summoner 1v1, I'd cry. I'd literally cry. Your undead summoner's better.
Oh, that was last tournament with the all arcane versus all arcane. Yeah, that was a fight. That match took like 50 minutes.
That was fun. Let's never do that again.
That was like hour 5 of the tournament too.
I know. I was dying. Like this dog gets a lot done when it goes, but it doesn't go nearly enough. Oh, and it's just gonna die.
It's over right here.
Poor doggo.
Put him out of his misery.
Poor doggo. Let the channeler take.
That is 2-1 Braigs' favor. Moving on to Meterless semifinals. I
Well played,
believe
Braigs.
that will be at some point. That'll be on Thursday, actually. We have 2 Meterless things today, then we have 1 Thursday, and then their finals. So that was 3 matches. I'm gonna go pull. We're gonna actually let me put us on starting soon screen, and then I'm gonna go talk to the contestants real quick, and then we'll all pull back in here. All right, we got Braigs in the channel now with the winner of that 3-2, or sorry, 2-1, 3-2. That's 2-1. Some good matches. You won. What was it? The first game. Yeah, you won the first game in the pit. That first one in the pit was looking kind of close, but got a little bit. I think there was a little bit of initiative difference there. Some of those units only got like 1 turn in the entire match. Did any of the picks in the first match with the initiative changes influence your picks for the second match?
Not really for the second match. The first match I was just laughing because my Centurion, I think, got 1 turn at the end, but the match was already over by that point.
We were talking about has that Centurion gone yet?
Feared for
Nah, just
forever.
feared for the whole game.
She was taking a nappy, and then she took like 2 turns in the other game, but the one turn she took, she basically cleansed your team and won it. It was crazy.
Yeah,
The
no,
reprimand
that
was
was a very
insane.
close cleanse.
Insane. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna take care of the bandit. Nope, cleanse.
There were a couple of times in that last match, Neil and I thought that you were a little bit doomed. Like when you teleported with your skeleton, put it right in front of your channeler, and the channeler lost line of sight of your bandit to be able to heal her. What was the thought process on some of those movements? We were kind of interested.
Yeah, I was looking at it, and that's the only square I could work out where the Minotaur couldn't move to attack and still get to my summoner. Because if I went one square further, like closer to the pack, the Minotaur would be able to get to me. And if I went anywhere else, the cat would have been able to get to me. So I thought that's the safest spot for him to be.
Were you worried at all when you saw Rinny flipping through the cat and saw the drain affinity?
Yeah, well, I've never used the Dark Beast before, so I didn't even know they got that.
Yeah, kind
But as soon as I saw that, I'm like, if it's the one time I played double spellcaster and they have that.
Yeah, I think Rinny kind of shot themselves in the foot though, because they didn't want to accidentally drain their own affinity. Here, let me pull this into this map set.
Between Imperial.
They didn't want to drain their own affinity by, using, because their undead summoner literally the turn before had just used Darkness from Life. They didn't want to drain their own affinity, so you were kind of safe for a turn there. But we were very interested. We were very interested.
I think when the cat had its first turn, my summoners didn't have the affinity yet.
We saw a very interesting thing going on there where your heavy units were getting the same amount of turns as the medium units on Rinny's team. That Undead Legionnaire and the cat literally only got, I think, 3 turns throughout that entire fight. I think the
yeah, I went very heavy on initiative when I was making my team. So I thought that'd be a big factor in Meterless.
That's what we talked about. That initiative's huge in Meterless.
Because I think my Sam Knight ended up with like 90 something initiative.
Yeah, it was huge.
The what was it? The Minotaur had like 90 something initiative too. So I think initiative is definitely going to be the name of the game this time around. It seems very potent. Everyone had extremely good play. The only one was how did you like me repainting the map for Stadium Drias?
Oh yeah, were you tempted to go on that island just to see what it was like?
The upper platform.
I was, because I was used to the old positioning where it's just the 2 blobs of squares at the bottom with nothing up the top. If I knew that prior, I probably would have got a ranged unit and tried to get it up there last pick uncontested.
We both saw you guys thinking about the ranged units, like, ooh, are they gonna go it? They're gonna be completely uncontested.
Yeah.
And then you both went on Undead Summoners hard to the paint.
Yeah.
By the way, were you thinking like, man, I just love affinity when you picked the air staff, or did you think, man, I am really gonna ruin other undead summoners and skeletons when I just clap them with air affinity attacks? Because holy moly, you almost one shot.
The whole purpose behind that staff is it's the only staff they gave plus 15 affinity. Not affinity, initiative.
No,
so he
I told you.
Initiative.
I knew it. When I was looking at your build, I was like, he got double air staff. That's definitely for the plus 15 INI.
Yeah, I just could not look past that with how good it was.
Well, it has the fun side effect of if you get an undead summoner versus undead summoner ditto, you win because you just clap their summoner to death with spells. Super interesting. How did you feel about the kind of long con skeleton walk you were making on that second map?
On the Scorched Oasis.
Yeah, on the Oasis.
Yeah, no, that was definitely a mistake.
We were both looking at Rinny's play. We were expecting her to throw the skeleton, her undead melee on the bridge to block your legionnaire from ever actually being able to play the game.
I saw him looking at that too, and I was just praying he wouldn't do that, because then that just would have been game. guaranteed.
Then
at
they
that
whipped
point.
out the Giga Braid play and had the undead caster and the summon both standing in front of your Peltus, who has a bleeding spear, who can't do anything against them.
I
Yeah,
felt
well-
really, really bad for you when that 12% to miss that destroy shield went off. It felt a little doomed at that point because you were about to make the saddest Murbonaut I've ever seen happen. And then I was
Yeah,
like,
and that was my whole thought process around the Peltus was that's my Myrmidon counter. Or my Miller counter.
we sorry, Murmilla. We were both like, oh yeah, just destroy the shield. The Murmilla's completely worthless.
92% chance.
I know. Yeah, you saw they had like all 3 throw shields and then a gut shot, so they were basically going to run around and gut shot people at that point and do other read as do nothing. And then that miss happened. You just got meterless a little.
All right. Well,
But that game, I was
congratulations.
definitely not expecting.
Congratulations
No,
on your
cheers,
win
guys.
there. You'll be back around for Thursday for the semifinal. I think that's actually the only match on Thursday. Well, it's my Thursday. I think it might be later for you, but that would be.
Yeah, it's my Friday morning.
Yeah, I think that's the only match on Thursday. It should be about the same time starting now, and that'll be a best of 5 against. I believe that's against Mystic. Mystic is a community speedrunner who's got the strats. He was making up his save, and he said, and I quote, "I'm doing something disgusting." So we'll see how Thursday
no.
turns out.
And we've seen disgusting in this tournament, but I can't wait. Really,
I think in the
really,
effort of fairness, I might share at least what the teams look like for semifinal matches, because you guys who are playing qualifiers are now at a disadvantage. People have seen your teams. So we'll keep an eye on that. But thank you for playing today. Congratulations on your win. We'll see you back around Thursday, and we'll see if you get to the finals.
Nah, thanks heap, guys. It's good to be a part of
Yeah.
it.
No, those really great games. Nice play. Nice play.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Would matter, it's just us now. So the next set of matches will kick off in about an hour and a half. It will be another set of meterless. This will be Leonarth versus Basilisk. This will be considered a semifinals match. Rinny and Braigs both being overseas, I randomly drew for who had to do qualifier rounds, and since they were both overseas, they were both the only ones that were available at this time, and it was the easiest for them. But Leonarth versus Basilisk in about an hour and a half. We're going to shut down the stream in the meantime, and then we'll pull it back up, and then we'll do Leonarth versus Basilisk meterless, and then right after that will be Mystic versus... I don't have all of these memorized yet. It will
How could
be
you?
Mystic versus Section Ratio Tile. That'll be 2 hours start after Leonarth versus Basilisk. It might run over if that meterless game goes to all 5 matches, but join us back in an hour and a half for the start of the next stream, and that will probably go from, I don't know, 5 o'clock Pacific until probably 9 o'clock Pacific. So 4 to 4.5 hours of Gladius gameplay coming back at you in about an hour and a half.
You didn't have to drop that on me. I just realized what I'm doing.
You can bow out at any time, my friend.
No, fine, I'll do it. I'm so committed at this point.
All right.
Also pick Mongol Shaman cowards.